Hello, good morning students. Today we will be discussing depth first search algorithm from Unit 2. Before this, we have seen how to represent your given problem in the form of state space and how to convert that into the state space tree. Now we will see how to traverse this state space tree so that you can find out a solution path from starting state to the goal state. So today we will be discussing depth first search algorithm. Depth first search, basically it's an uninformed search algorithm and it does not use any information to carry out the search. Therefore we call this algorithm as blind search algorithm also. It uses stack in its implementation, and extended version of this depth first search algorithm is depth limited search. And then again another version of this depth limited search is iterative deepening depth first search algorithm. So later on we are going to discuss extended version of DFS. But along with this, another blind search algorithm we are going to discuss later on, that is breadth first search algorithm. Today we will be discussing this depth first search algorithm, how it works. Before that, let us recall where you are going to apply this search algorithm. In last lecture we have seen how to define state space for a given problem. In state space representation, we have seen that we define state space tree for a given problem. To define this state space tree, we define set of states. Along with that, some of the states we designate them as initial state or states. It depends on the problem. Final state or goal state, or some problem they may have more than one final state. Then we have set of rules. This set of rules we use to find out successor states. So that's how state space tree will be generated, and depending upon algorithm we will traverse through this state space tree until we reach to the goal state. Then how we traverse through this state space tree, that will be decided by the algorithm. So today one of the technique we will be discussing, that is called a depth first search. That its name suggests, this depth first search moves along with the depth of the search tree. So either it will start from the left or start from the right of the search space tree. Suppose your state space tree is something like this. So initially you will be starting with some initial state. Suppose initial state is state S, and successor of this S you can generate by applying set of rules which are applicable on this current state. Suppose successors generated are A, B and C. So this depth first search will move along with the depth. Then it will visit this node A or node C. So if it takes left side, then A will be checked. It will check whether A is a goal node. If A is not a goal node, then this A will be explored further by generating its successors this way. So suppose successor of this A node are D and another successor is E. Then it will visit this D first, and then it will check is it a goal. If no, again further D will be explored, and after that it will backtrack, and then it will visit E. Then again it will backtrack, it will visit B. Again if B is not a goal, B will be explored further. In this way it will traverse the whole tree. Keep in mind, initially from S you can check A or C. So either you take left side or right side. If you go to the right, always you will have to visit rightmost node first. So that's how this depth first search algorithm works. Now let us find out working of this algorithm on this state space tree. Suppose we have given this state space tree, part of the state space tree, or then check out working of this depth first search algorithm. It will start with this node A. Now if A is not a goal, then A will be explored. After exploring A, it will generate B, C and D, all these three nodes. Then later on you will have to come back to C, again D. So somewhere you must store this node. So for that purpose, one list you will have to use for storing this node. Suppose I call that list as queue. Actually it's not a queue data structure, or simply you call this as list. So you will have to keep this generated nodes on this list. Suppose generated nodes are B, C, D. So I will be putting this B, C and D on this list. Now while keeping this node on the list, since we have to move along with the depth, so after B you will be visiting E. So you will have to explore B. So the generated nodes of this B, if B is not a goal, so what you are going to do, you are going to remove this node B. So if you remove this node B from this list, you are going to explore it. After exploring this B, you will get its children E, F and G. So you have to keep this E, F and G on this list again out here at the beginning of this list. So E, F and G you are going to store on this list at the beginning. Later on you are going to check E. Now if E is not a goal, you are going to remove it from the list. Then you are going to check F. If F is again not a goal, so remove this F also. Then there will be G at the front. Every time you are going to check whether G is a goal. If G is again not a goal, remove it. Then at the beginning of list we have C. Then check C, is it a goal? If no, remove it. Now explore this C. After exploring C, that will generate H. So put this H at the beginning of this list. So here you will have node H. Remember that after E, if E can be explored further, successors of this E will be at the beginning of this list. We are assuming that there are no successors, therefore algorithm is backtracking to node C. It has generated F. If H is not a goal, again this H will be removed. After removing this H from this list, then you will have node D on the list. Remove this D. After removing this D, it will generate I and H. So put this I and H on this list at the beginning, I and J. Check whether I is a goal. If no, then later on it will check J. Suppose if J is a goal node, so algorithm will terminate and return the result. If you find out, if you observe this working, you will find out if your goal is at the rightmost downward in, then all the nodes algorithm has visited. All the nodes algorithm has to explore. Therefore, time required for this algorithm will be exponential time. And if your goal is somewhere here, suppose E is a goal node, in that particular case immediately you are going to reach to the goal. In best case, algorithm will return you the solution quickly, but in worst case it takes exponential amount of time. Now let us find out order in which nodes are visited in this depth first search algorithm. Generally in the examination such questions are asked. Suppose H is a goal. You are given node H is a goal node, and you have to search this H in this state space tree. So you have to find out order in which nodes are visited, and you have to give solution path also. Suppose H is a goal node, then you are going to start with node A. A is not a goal, so you are going to visit after this node A. You are going to explore it, so it will generate B, C and D, and then you are going to check whether B is a goal or not. B is not a goal, so you are going to remove it from that list and you are going to explore this B, so it will generate E, F and G. You are going to put this E, F, G on the list. Then every time you will be checking, is this E is a goal, F, G, no, we know that H is a goal. So it will backtrack and it will check this C. C is not a goal, it will be explored further, and finally it will generate this H. H is a goal. So the order in which you have visited nodes in this depth first search algorithm, that order will be, if H is a goal, A, first you have visited node A, take some other color, node A, B, E, F, G, C and then finally H. If you always take leftmost node first, what will be the solution path then in that case? But your solution path will be from node A to node A to node C, from node C to node H. So solution path will be A, C and H. Let us take some other situation. Suppose your goal node is goal node E. Goal is node E. E is a goal. Then find out order in which nodes will be visited. Now if E is a goal, then we are going to start with A. Is not a goal, going to explore it, that will generate B, C, D. You are going to check B, is it a goal? No. Explore it, it will generate E, F, G. You are going to put those elements at the beginning of the list. Then E will be at the front, then you are going to check E. E is a goal, algorithm will terminate and give you the result. Solution path will be node A, node A to node B and from node B to node E. So solution path will be A, B, E, A, B and node E. Find out order in which nodes will be visited. Order in which nodes will be visited will be A, B and E. Same order. Okay? Now another variation of, take another problem. Suppose your goal node is goal node D. Find out order in which nodes will be visited and solution path. Goal is node D. If your goal is node D, then again start with starting node A. It's not a goal. Remove it, explore it, it will generate B, C and D. Put them on the list. Check this B, it's not a goal. Explore it, check, then it will generate E, F and G. Check each of them one by one. Algorithm will backtrack, come to C, not a goal. Explore, generate its successors H, put that on the list again. No, H is not a goal. It will go back. At the beginning of list you will have D now. Check D, yes it's a goal, algorithm will terminate. So let us first trace how algorithm has traversed the tree up to this G. The order in which nodes are visited, that order is A, B, E, F, G, C, H and D. So let us put it down. A, B, E, F, G, C, H and D. What is the solution path? A and D. Solution path will be A, D. So this is the solution path algorithm will meet. Now let us observe how this algorithm works from its analysis point of view. If your goal is somewhere here, you will find out, you will get it quickly. If it is somewhere here, rightmost extreme, algorithm has to traverse the complete tree, so time required will be more. Then another situation, not necessary that always you will be taking leftmost node first, you may go by this also. That is, from A you can visit D, then J, then I, backtrack C, H, B, right? In this way also you can traverse this tree. Either you have to traverse it from the left or from the right. So in terms of time, you will see if your goal is somewhere here and you are taking leftmost node first, algorithm has to visit all the nodes. But how many nodes algorithm will store on the queue? That will be dependent on what is the branching factor and what is the depth at which you have got the solution. Now let us put all these steps in the form of algorithm. Initially we said that you have to put the elements on the list. If list is empty or if you reach to the goal, algorithm will terminate. Then you are removing first element from the list which is at the beginning of the list, and then suppose I call it D, you check D, if it is a goal, yes, return success, algorithm will terminate there. Else we remove it, generate its successors and put them at the beginning of list. This is important, you have to put all the elements at the beginning of list. So how to implement this particular part in your algorithm? Storage part. You are putting elements at the beginning, so that means last in first out strategy you are implementing. So that is your stack. What is this? This data structure is stack data structure. So this can be easily implemented by using a stack. Last in first out. Then go back to the step 2. This step, again you are checking list is empty, or otherwise if the goal is found, S is your goal, then you terminate the search. Sometimes there might be a case that your starting node S itself is a goal, or solution may not be present. In both cases algorithm will terminate. Otherwise you are removing elements which are at the beginning of the list, and then you are going to check whether it's a goal. If not, you are finding out its successor, putting them on the list at the beginning. So repeat this until you get goal state or list is empty. So this is how the algorithm works. Now let us analyze this algorithm. As I told you, time required that is, time complexity of this algorithm is order of b raised to m. It has to traverse all the nodes. If your solution is somewhere rightmost bottom of your search tree, so here b is your branching factor and m is the depth at which you have found solution, the depth of your search tree. So since you have to visit all the nodes, in worst case time complexity is exponential, that is order of b raised to m. What about the space? In terms of space, algorithm is very good. Space required is b multiplied by m, so it's a linear time complexity, space complexity. In terms of space it is linear. Algorithm is not optimal. Optimality refers to whether algorithm will return you the optimal solution, best solution. We have seen that algorithm may return your solution quickly if it is at the leftmost bottom, leftmost side, if you are taking left node first. But if it is somewhere on the rightmost side, it takes more time. But what about finding out optimal solution? It may not give you the optimal solution. Let us visualize this. Suppose your search tree is something like this. And your goal node is goal G is suppose out here. One more goal is, same goal is present. If you go through this, suppose this is also goal. So depth first search algorithm will move this way. First it will visit this node, then come here and then come to this first goal, and it will return this as a solution path. But suppose here also your goal is present, it will not return this goal. Algorithm will terminate here. So first solution will be returned by this depth first search algorithm. So it may not be optimal, so therefore algorithm is not optimal algorithm. Come to the completeness property of this algorithm. Algorithm even is not complete. Completeness refers to, do we have guarantee that if there is a solution, algorithm will return you the solution guaranteed? So again answer is no. Reason for that is, suppose depth of your search tree is infinite. In that particular case, algorithm will traverse that loop infinitely, and it will not be able to come out of that loop, and it may not give you the solution although it exists. Somewhere situation like this. Now when there will be a cycle, if same state you are getting after some time again and again, so that may result in a cycle. So if it's a graph, that means if suppose your solution, what we do, we convert that graph into the state space tree. So same node may be present at many places, duplicate nodes will be there, so that will result in a cycle. So if that is the case, algorithm will not be able to come out of that cycle, and it will not be able to return you the result. So therefore algorithm is not complete even. Come to the advantages and disadvantages of this depth first search algorithm. As we have seen, it requires linear storage, so therefore in terms of storage space requirement, algorithm is good. Then another advantage of this algorithm is that list that you have to implement, you can implement that as a stack. So maintenance of that is easy, so it can be easily programmed. Come to the other side, it is not optimal algorithm. It may return you the suboptimal solution. Whatever is first solution, it will return that solution while traversing that state space tree along with the depth. Algorithm is incomplete if there is a goal, but if algorithm get caught in cycle, it may not give you the solution, so therefore it is incomplete. Then this can be resolved if you limit the depth of this search tree. So determination of depth, that you cannot make out in advance, so cutoff depth cannot be determined. Therefore, unless and until you work on that, algorithm will not be able to resolve these problems. So let us summarize this depth first search algorithm. If search space is large, this depth first search is preferable if you limit depth while traversing that search space. Algorithm is not complete. Also, we have seen in terms of space requirement, algorithm is attractive because it requires linear storage.